Frequency. Chapter 8. A Little Talk. Redux. Vinyl's radio towered over its counterparts, which was supposedly the latest in modern communication technology. Small and light enough to easily lift with one hoof, the shiny white radio sported a screen that somehow managed to light up and display numbers without a projector. The device had been donated by the Canterlot College of Electrical Engineering, itself a very new facility of learning. Considering she had no idea how a whole radio could be packed into such a tiny package, Vinyl was half afraid to try it. What if she broke it? Would they take it out of her pay? 54 had sent a message ensuring that she was still getting paid wages based on a 40-hour workweek, undoubtedly at the insistence of royalty. Still, the thought of having to pay for the device made her treat it like a priceless specimen in a museum.
Vinyl? You there?
Addie's voice chirped up on the new radio, so clear that Vinyl couldn't resist marveling. She touched the small button on top of the white cube as gently as she could.
I'm here. Can you hear me? Whoa.
Addie said.
Your sound quality just jumped a few notches. New radio.
Vinyl pulled her hoof away from the button very slowly.
Dunno if I'm gonna keep using it. Can you still hear me? Sure can. Why? Huh.
Vinyl stared at the button, then at her hoof.
Continuous two-way communication. My dad would be amazed if he could see this. Technology upgrade, huh? Big upgrade, small package.
Vinyl replied.
I'm half afraid I'll break it if I touch it, so I'm glad I don't have to in order to keep talking. That's the thing about consumer electronics,
Addie said in a sage tone.
They keep getting smaller all the time, and they keep getting cheaper all the time.
I'll take your word for it. Vinyl sat by the table and looked around the astronomy room.
You know, it's nice staying at the castle and living in the lap of luxury, but I want to go home. Really? I thought there was nothing for you to do there. True.
Vinyl sighed and rested her cheek on the table.
But this is Canterlot Castle. Only the nobility is even supposed to set hoof here. I'm so lowbrow, I make lowbrow feel highbrow. I don't belong in this place.
Addie sighed.
You always talk as though you're poor desserts. I know, I should count my blessings.
Vinyl shifted, so it was her chin on the table.
But right now, I just give about anything for some hay fries and an oat burger. Until you've spent 2 years eating the exact same vegetables for every single meal, don't talk to me about what food you miss.
The thought brought a shudder out of Vinyl.
Yeah, that does sound bad. Forget I said anything.
There was a moment of silence before Addie spoke up again.
Do you have any idea when this other princess is supposed to show up? Oh, Flash went to get her.
Vinyl couldn't help smirking.
He's been on pins and needles for the past 3 days over her coming. Oh?
Yep. She chuckled and glanced for the door.
He mentioned he's a royal guard, right? Well, he has this huge crush on Princess Twilight before. He actually asked her out and got turned down flat. Crushed him, that poor fella. Wait a minute. You mean he asked out royalty? Don't you have to be, like, nobility to do that? Not really.
Vinyl toyed with a mic on her old radio, tossing it in the air.
Princess Cadence married the captain of the guard here in Canterlot, who most certainly wasn't nobility at the time. Oh, by the way, that marriage makes Cadence and Twilight sisters-in-law. Huh, good to know.
Addie paused once more.
I need to reevaluate my view of Flash. Any guy who can ask out someone out of his league is worthy of respect. All this time, I kind of felt like he was a dork.
Vinyl broke into laughter.
Oh, he's definitely a dork. A brave dork, but still a dork.
I heard that. Vinyl grinned and turned to find Flash standing at the door with a nervous smile. Before Vinyl could say anything, he stood aside and at attention. Her Highness, Twilight Sparkle. Twilight trotted into the room, with a bright smile and a particular shine in her eyes, leaving the fidgeting Flash behind without so much as a second glance. She raised her hoof as Vinyl started to rise.
Please, no bowing. I get enough of that around here to last me a lifetime. You must be Vinyl Scratch.
Vinyl had seen the new princess before on several occasions, but until now, she'd never been directly addressed by Twilight. It felt weird seeing a former unicorn with wings.
That'd be me. We were beginning to wonder when you'd show. That makes two of us.
Twilight flapped her wings.
I'm still not used to these things, so I took the train as a precaution. I have got to squeeze more flying lessons into my schedule.
She paused and gazed with wide eyes and an almost creepy smile at the radio.
Is she on?
Addie spoke up.
A pleasure to meet you, Princess Sparkle.
Twilight let out something between a gasp and a laugh, her wings jerking open with a poomph.
Oh my gosh, this is so amazing!
She practically flew into the seat next to Vinyl.
It is such an incredible pleasure to talk to you. You have no idea how excited I've been, Miss Longstaff. Do you have any idea what this means?
Addie gave a weak chuckle.
The first true evidence of life beyond our world without having to cross dimensions!
Twilight clapped her hooves and gave a squee that would have fit perfectly on a filly a third her age.
It's so fascinating. It might be the greatest scientific discovery in all of pony history. I have so many questions for you. I just don't know where to start.
Don't mind her, a new voice called. Vinyl turned to see a small purple dragon walking in, looking exhausted by the long trek up the stairs. She gets like this all the time. She got so excited she forgot me at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, sorry, Spike.
Twilight's horn lit up, promptly lifting the dragon and setting him down between her and Vinyl.
I told you to hang on, didn't I?
He crossed his arms and huffed. Yeah, after you'd already bolted. He turned and offered his fist to Vinyl. Hi, I'm Spike the Dragon.
Vinyl Scratch.
She hoof-bumped it with a smile.
Did he say dragon?
Addie asked.
Like fire-breathing, scales, wings, big as a house? Actually, Spike's a baby dragon.
Twilight replied, playfully patting him on the head. He groaned and shoved her hoof away, to which she only grinned.
Also, he has no wings. We're assuming he'll grow into them later. No wings, huh? Interesting. Wait.
Twilight pressed her hooves to the table and leaned over the radio with wide eyes.
How did you know about dragons? Did Vinyl tell you about them?
The question had Vinyl perking her ears.
Nope. Dragons are an old part of Earth mythology. Everyone knows about dragons, but they just don't exist where I'm from. That's astounding!
Twilight sat once more and tapped her chin.
How is it possible that two races from two entirely different worlds could know about the same things?
Addie barked a laugh.
You think that's weird? How about those two races forming languages that are almost exactly the same? Even grammatically. The odds have got to be astronomical.
Twilight blinked, her eyes going wide. She turned to thrust a hoof in Vinyl's face.
You didn't teach her to speak Common Pony?
Vinyl pushed her hoof aside.
Don't look at me. She was already speaking it when we first met.
I find that hard to believe. Flash's voice made her jump, for she'd not realized that he'd walked up behind them.
Me too,
Twilight said.
Those are just the tip of the iceberg. Like, why is it only radios in the general vicinity of Candlelight can you catch on this frequency?
Vinyl couldn't help but notice how Flash averted his gaze when Twilight's passed over him. Yeah, Spike chirped up. And let's not forget that somehow only Miss Scratch discovered you. Talk about long odds.
I don't have any answers for you,
Addie replied.
I'm as confused as all of you are. Although I am glad I can finally talk about it.
Vinyl leaned towards the radio with a raised eyebrow.
Hey, you could have talked to me about it at any time.
Addie's voice turned guilty.
You didn't believe my story! I didn't like being reminded of it. Well, the scientific community of Equestria believes,
Twilight said.
And when the timing is right, when we make the public announcement, so will every pony else. Every pony, huh? Say, do you guys really look like ponies?
Twilight, Vinyl, Flash, and Spike all exchanged uncertain looks. Flash very obviously avoiding Twilight's.
I guess that depends,
Twilight replied.
What do you think ponies look like? 4 legs, covered in fur, long muzzles, manes and tails. I guess that wouldn't be descriptive enough, come to think of it.
No, that sounds spot on, Spike said. Well, except for me, of course.
Seriously? You mean don't even have hands?
Vinyl rubbed the back of her head and turned to Twilight.
What are hands?
Twilight wiggled her hooves in demonstration.
Ugly little hooves with 5 digits. The humans I met through the magic mirror had them, and they take some getting used to.
Just like my claws, Spike added, raising his for her to observe. Only longer and blunt. He took a moment to study it, wiggling his fingers. Does it really look ugly? Addie's voice grew in pitch.
You've met humans?
Twilight's blushing apology to her assistant was cut off by her head whipping towards the radio.
That's right. You claim to be human. But how can there be humans through the magic mirror and...
She shot Spike a quizzical look, but he only shrugged.
Maybe because the mirror leads to many dimensions, I guess it's possible. Wait,
Addie said.
what did these humans look like? Two-legged, wear clothes, hair on top of their heads?
Twilight's wings spread, whacking Flash in the face.
Exactly! Oh my gosh, this is great! It's far more unusual than even my wildest expectations. Oh, I can't wait to start studying your history, your culture, your lifestyle. Oh, I've got to know. Do you breathe oxygen?
Vinyl stared at Twilight, then glanced back at Flash, who was being helped up by Spike.
She really gets into the stuff, doesn't she?
I can only imagine the more pressing questions like, do you shit? Anyways, let's get on to our clean donators. Top donators are 630, BadassWaffle, Only One Thing, Ceru, Orion, IronSky, and Jessie Smith. Matchbook109, JockeTF, Darkside, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel, Sky, Sauce, and Rolan, Stu, Hextor, Brother, Mordred, Omicron, Lyra, Top 952, Will, Chris, Wiki, Rice, Shradam, Luigi 88, Chancellor Quest, Big Smoke 369, Bobcat, GGF, Murder Princess, and many more flawless people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and love life to the fullest.